Hello again. Right, back at it in the garage. So wanting to keep up the momentum with this RC trophy truck. So in this video I'm going to concentrate on the front suspension and fingers crossed get it sort of mounted on the front of the frame. That's the plan. So to do, I need to just modify this hub slightly to match that and tidy this one up. So I had to make some extra room. It's a bit of a mess as that, so I'll make that look nice and neat. So they need to be identical, so I've got that to do. This is a sort of modified drive shaft. I need to do the same to this one, and I might just try and just tidy that up a little bit. So they need to be the same. I've got some screws here that I'll need cutting down, so I just want the threads. So I'm going to cut the threads off, and those threads, all these are tapped. So I'm going to be threading either end, and those there, and the same. These are going to have a threaded end on. That means I can then mount the plastic ball links. So that can all be done. Then I can put those back together on the frame. I've already got there the rear suspension link mount. From there, so then I need to design the chassis rails, like I mentioned in the previous video, chassis rails, and then I've got the crossbar that needs to be mounted on. So yeah, a bit of trial and error, so I'll try and get some video of what I'm doing. I might cheat and do some off camera, but I'll keep giving you updates, so let's crack on. So the first job is to modify the front plastic hubs. So all I'm doing is I'm putting a bit of a recess just there, just as clearance for the ball links. So this is a brand new one, so I'll do that now. I'm just using this is a metal die grinder tip that I got from China, nice and cheap, and they're pretty damn good at cutting away at plastic. So let's put some safety goggles on and crack on. See what it looks like. Nope, need a lot more. Right. Okay, so I'm going to say that's done. I'm going to tidy that up off camera, get all the swarf off it, get all the crap off it. But, right, next job. Right then. So I have, these are done, back together, modified, cleaned up, they're ready to go. I cut down the screws and I have put the thread part into the ball joint, and I've managed to make a mess of my finger, which is going to hurt tomorrow. Nice. So now I can just probably do this on camera. Put the glove back on, try and protect me. Oh, that's a right bastard, is that? That is going to hurt in the morning. I need a plaster on it. Anyway, so just quickly thread these. So off camera, yesterday I've gone in and I've tapped all these. So these are all tapped, so that should thread in there nicely, or not nicely in this case. Must be a bit of dirt in the threads, but there we go, like so. So do that for the rest. And I forgot to tell you, so I'll come back to that in a minute. You don't need to see me do that 10 times. That I've actually, for the suspension arms, I made myself a little jig. So I've got 2 mounting holes on there. So that means I can actually screw it in. So I'll tap those first, screw those into there, line it up with the points, make sure that it's flat. I don't want it wonky, make sure it's flat, and then I can weld it up. And then for this piece here, that is just tacked on because that might be in the wrong location. If that's in the correct location, I'm going to make a jig with a screw going through there, and then when I make the next set, the screw will hold that piece in the correct location so I can tack it on. And then the reason why, then this, I can turn it upside down, rejig it and weld it. Obviously that won't be there because it doesn't line up, but so I can jig it both ways around, which is good. And then I know that they're all the same, but I might have to change the jig if I change the suspension, obviously. Anyway, right, going off topic. So let's put these all back together and then we'll crack on. Update time. So I've spent a good amount of time sort of mocking this up. You see I've got the wheels and the centre on magnets there. I've had to shorten this leg. So I've shortened it, re-tapped it, but then you can see I've had to screw it out anyway. And then on this one, I've actually unscrewed the joint to make it longer. So you can see there that I've got my centre of my wheels are in line, but then you can see that these 2 arms, they're sort of parallel to each other, but they're off centre. And that's just the way I-beam suspension is. Now I've noticed that there is a design flaw, and that is on this side. If this wheel was to move upwards, it would hit this beam here. Come on. So you see it there. So that means that these were left long on purpose for mocking up. So what I'm actually going to have to do is, I think this is sort of trial and error and designing as I go. I'm going to put a bend in this so it comes up here, and the same with that one. I'm going to put a bend in it so it comes up, and then I'll do that now, and then I can start to measure. These are going to be start again. So I'm going to put a bend in them, put a bend in that about there so it comes up. Then I'm going to put my plastic ball joint on the end. Then I can then work from that area there, I can build my chassis rails going from here to the back. And then I'll just make some little brackets similar to that. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to wing it, go for it, and then redesign it if it's wrong. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make any progress. So that's the plan now. I'm gonna take these off, put a bend in them, make them both symmetrical, bend in the same place, same amount of degrees. Then I'll put it back together like this, and then we'll see where we are. But otherwise, it's I think it should be pretty sweet. Yeah, I daren't touch it because the magnet's holding it and it'll all fall down, so I'm not going to touch it now. Yeah, let's crack on. Made some good progress since the last little recording. You can see now that I have got the front end sort of totally mocked up. So just to explain what I've done, I've got my chassis rails in place. So I worked out sort of where they want it to be, how far apart, and then how long they're going to be. Then I've done my front end here, so this is actually below the front of the body shell. So I'm going to build bull bars off this. So on the body shell here, I'll have bull bars going right across the front like a proper trophy truck. I've got some tie wraps holding the suspension on. I now know that from that angle there, you can see that I need to cut this arm, and then I can thread it and put in the ball link, and then I need to do some anchor points on this chassis rail for the ball joint. But now I can see that it works. I've got a little bit more, I've got a bit of negative camber on this wheel versus that wheel, but that's minimal. What I can do is I can adjust these ball joints here to get my camber spot on. And if I'm really careful, I might be able to give you a little demo. So that's the wheel going up. So that space there, that's going to be, that's the best way to describe this. Once it's fully loaded with batteries and all the running gear, that's going to be the ride height once it's sat on the ground. So it's going to have so much up travel, it's actually going to hit the body shell. So I'm going to have to put some, I want to put in some proper bump stops, some like rubber bump stops or hydraulic bump stops, whatever. So it's going to go up that much. And then if I move this magnet, then you can see that it's going to go, oh no, it's moved. Give you an idea of sort of travel. Now you can see there that that's the reason why trophy trucks do not use I-beam suspensions, because, or not anymore, is because you've got your camber and your caster changes massively with travel, which can give you weird might not go in a straight line over the bumps. But I'm not bothered about that. I can just sort of fine tune it with the control, with the ball joints and controller and blah 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 blah. Let's put that magnet back in place. So I'll move now. Now, one thing that you can't quite tell, but it was important that when it's going forwards on the ground over no bumps, you want a little bit of caster on front hubs, which I think I've just about got. You can't see in this video, but I have checked it. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, going on a bit too much now. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. I'm happy with that. It'd be nice to get these cut back, get these mounted, get some shockers in. It'll look cool with some shockers on there. So we'll do that in the next video. Thanks for watching.